Hey now, welcome to episode 12.2 of Lone Star Mini Restoration. It's basically a continuation with my welder. What I found out, I got my welder all hooked up. In fact, I've ran the wire through. I didn't show all that on video. I know, most of these welders are different, especially in the UK. Y'all have different models, different makes. So I didn't go into detail of showing all of that. I'll talk a little bit more of that when I actually pull the trigger. But what has slowed me down is this guy right here. This is good for 110 as well as 220. Now, from reading and from what people are telling me, that the machine operates better off of 220. So I'm gonna try both, but I'm definitely going to use 220. Now, why did that stop me? Because even though I have 220 in my shop, I don't have this style outlet. So what I've done is I've bought the supplies. I'm going to tap into a 30 amp breaker that I already have for my air compressor that runs off of a 10 gauge wire, which is what this guy needs. So I'm going to tap into that for this. But also, this is a perfect spot for my welder. What I had here from years ago, I had an air conditioner put in my shop to keep it cool. It really wasn't for me, it was for our dogs. When my wife was working 20 years ago, we had two big dogs, and I put a doggy door in the back of the shop on the back wall, and they could come in here and get out of the heat. Well, when my wife came home with our first daughter, they never came into the shop again. They were always in the house. So I've never used this thing. Other than that first year, I've never used it, so I took it out. I'm taking it to the scrapyard. Now I'm left with a big 5-inch hole. Now a new friend of mine, thanks to YouTube, suggested that maybe I can possibly use that hole because it goes all the way through the brick outside for venting out fumes when it comes time for me painting. So I'm probably going to do that. I bought some expanding foam for now just to keep bugs out and whatever, mice. Oh yeah, hey, this is funny. This is called a Texas-sized mousetrap right here, baby. This sucker is massive. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get my finger stuck in this thing. But Texas-sized mice, man. So I don't want any of those Texas-sized mice coming through that 5-inch hole because that sucker is massive. Anyhow, yeah, so while I was taking that down, I was also taking my Christmas lights down and kind of getting my shop back in order. I decided to rearrange. I took my sawhorses down. I put those out in a extended shop that I have in the backyard, put those out there. I took the TV down that I never use because now I always use my iPad with Wi-Fi. So I took the TV down. So I'm kind of rearranging. I'll probably rearrange my shop 100 times until I get it right. So, but anyhow, so with this plug, on this episode, I also am going to do a little bit of organization, and that's over here. So what I'm going to do, my dad has given me, I plan on using Clecos for when I do my body work. Now, my father's given me, I don't know, 3 or 4 bags of all different sizes. I've got loads of these different sizes. I also have clamps, all kinds of clamps, different sizes. But I'm going to do a little bit of organization for my own mindset for these guys. So I'm going to show that, kind of a tool tip maybe. I don't know, it may be useless to most of you, but anyhow, all right, let's get started. Hey, one thing before I get going on my project, I had to say real quick because otherwise I'll forget, is you guys are probably at Bingley Hall. Well, this past week all I've heard is Bingley Hall, Bingley Hall. And, yeah, ain't it great? I hope you guys are having a fantastic time there. I've seen some pictures. In fact, I'm going to post a few pictures that have been sent to me from one of my new friends there that has been to Bingley Hall today or yesterday or both days. I'm not sure. Anyhow, yeah, you know what? I need to introduce somebody to you. Hold on a minute. I'll be back. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here, Winter. Hey, Winter. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, all right. Okay, this is Winter. This is our new addition to the family. This is River's girl right here. Yeah, he's my youngest daughter, Deborah. She, of course, claims her. And she was quite white when we got her. But since then, since she's grown a few weeks, she actually has like yellow streaks down her. Our friend has coined her the snow skunk. But so yeah, this is our new addition to the family, and River has been nonstop playing. Yeah, all right, and here she goes. She's gonna go play again, so I'm gonna let her go. All right, so I'm not going to show all of this because I know it's not something that a lot of people are going to do. Basically, it's kind of my archive of what I have done. This is all for the mini restoration, right? So now, as you can see here, this is 220 power for my air compressor. Big difference in outlet size, everything about it. So this is essentially what I'm doing. I'm going to put this guy right here. I'm going to put them right next to each other. This one's totally dedicated. Now, because I can't run both items off of one breaker, odds are, my luck, the air compressor will kick in when I'm trying to weld, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'll have to do, a little bit of inconvenience, I'll have to unplug my air compressor when I want to use a welder, but not a big deal. The other thing that I've realized, since I'm going to be using 220, this here is 10 gauge wire, but because I'm going to be using 220, my extension cord on the welder is only like 5 or 6 feet, or the cord, not the extension cord. And so in order for me to get all the way around the Mini, I'm going to have to build an extension cord. So that'll be a future project. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 20-foot extension cord, which should be good. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to record it all. Just wanted to let you know. I'll show you the finished product when I get done. So yeah, ain't it great? So yeah, since electricity scares me, I definitely have to make sure that we're off. So here, I mean, I've got the power line unhooked, and I just want to know, make sure, because I don't have the sleeve on the wire, I can't really tell by looking at it if it's 12 gauge, 10 gauge, or what. I know it's not 8 gauge, it's not that thick, but so I'm just going to mic the wire diameter. We're coming out in at almost exactly 0.1, which tells me that it's 10 gauge. 12 gauge is like 0.08. Bit of a pause for a drink. You know, it's not very hot outside, but it's actually quite wonderful. But you know, when you're working in the shop, you end up getting hot. But so far, my electrical is going well, which is a little bit out of the ordinary for me. Normally, I have to do 2 and 3. I have to do things 2 and 3 times over and over. Knock on wood. It's going okay at the moment. So I'll show you the finished product here in a minute. All right, as you can see, I've got everything hooked up. Both of them, so it'll be nice and clean when it's all done. No wires exposed. So now I guess I'm going to turn on the power and see if we've got power. All right, here we go. Playing with electricity always makes me freaking nervous as all get out. All right, we have 123, 24 volts there. And now I'm going to try this other leg. Man, it's hard to get in there. 124 volts there. So I'm going to call it good. I'm going to close everything up, and then I'll test it with the real McCoy. Okay, the one thing that I failed to consider, as you can see, everything's back together. Everything shows that it has power. And I forgot to account for the overlap of this plate and this plate. So you can see here that I had to trim it. I had to trim the white plate to go around the metal plate. All in all, I think it's a good enough fit for now. Yeah, so I'm going to turn on the power. All right. Okay, so I have a little bit of a sense of accomplishment with finishing the wiring for the welder. That's now done. I now have 220 power, I think. So now I'm going to move on to my organization project that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And hey, I have to mention a couple, or at least one shout out. A friend that I've made on from the YouTube channel has made another suggestion. And I was cleaning up, when I was cleaning up the Christmas stuff and getting rid of the sawhorses and the TV and kind of reorganizing, you know, I have all of my mini stuff that was on the mini, the shell that I have now. I have it all in here in different bins, semi-organized. And a good point was made in an email, and that was to definitely don't throw anything away, nothing away, until you're finished. So I'm definitely going to acknowledge that tip, and I'm going to abide by it. Because I was thinking, why am I keeping all this stuff? But I'm going to keep it all until the until this particular job is done. And then there will be some of it that I can throw away. Some of it maybe I can restore again. But anyhow, I'm going to get on with my organization now. All right. So the first thing I had to ask myself with Clecos is, which Cleco am I going to use? I have 4 of them, and there are basically 4 different types. You've got silver, which is 3/32, it's like 0.09 inches. Then you've got a copper one, which is 1/8, 0.125 inches. Then you've got a black one, which I believe is 5/32, which is what, 0.156, somewhere in there. And then you've got a brass or gold color, and it's thicker. I don't remember what it is, but it's thicker. So I'm thinking, okay, what holes am I going to put in my mini panels when I'm welding them together? And I'm thinking these 2 are out, the 2 larger ones. I don't know, because I'm thinking, because I don't have any welding experience, I'm thinking, is a smaller hole or a bigger hole better to fill? You know, once I have everything welded and I remove the Clecos, then I'm left with a hole. So when I'm welding, which is better to fill? Or easier to fill, larger or smaller? I don't know. So I am going to experiment with these 2. I'm going to leave the other 2 out of it altogether. All right, hey now, thanks for watching, everybody. So I consider it another successful day. What I've done today is I have added the outlet for my welder, finish, complete. And then I just did a little organizing with my Clecos. So I don't know if you can see this. Let me come into this camera here. What I've done here is I've just made a little Cleco organizer, if you will. Now I'm using copper, which is the 1/8 inch, and then the silver, which is 0.090. Honestly, I don't know how many I'll need or what size I will prefer. I won't know that until I get a little experience. But as you can see, they're spaced just far enough so that I can reach in here. Whoop, tool's upside down. I can reach in here, you know, without any interference whatsoever, pull out the Cleco, or, you know, store it back. So anyhow, and this is going to go, I popped a hole here. This is going to hang on the wall until I'm ready to use them. But it's just mentally, it's organizing, you know, kind of being prepared. So done. That is done. So yeah, let me just say the sun's going down. we're now having longer light hours here in Texas. Yay! It's about, what time is it? Yeah, it's after 6 o'clock already, so that's awesome. It's still daylight out here. Tomorrow I have jury duty, and so I'm going to report for jury and court at the courthouse. And depending on how that goes, I may actually pull the trigger tomorrow. If I get home at a decent hour and we still have daylight, I actually may pull the trigger on the welder and melt some metal. But if not, hey guys, again, I hope all of you guys that went to Bingley Hall, I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. I'm sure you did. You know, meeting people, seeing everybody, buying stuff, seeing awesome minis all over the place. Wow. Yeah, I wish I could have been there. I'm sure y'all had a great weekend. And all right, until the next one, bye just now from Texas.